These are the tools that I use for the beading. This first one is a 1/16 inch. You can see it's pretty small. I've done a few pieces with that. That's not the one I use the most. This one here is 3/32, and this is the tool I use 99% of the time. This is the 1/8 inch tool, and that's probably the standard. That's the one that you'll see when you see beaded vessels. That's the tool that's used pretty much all the time. This is a 3/32 inch piece tool, and I use this usually at the top or the bottom of the box, or to start or end a piece. This is a good tool so that the bead transitions a little different than just 3/32. And then this one's a 1/4 inch tool. Now you notice the handles or lack of handle. I recommend, and these are all D-way tools. I don't know, there may be some other manufacturers out there, but these D-way tools are as good as they get. I've got several D-way tools besides beading tools, and they're just really high quality. I really like them. This piece has no handle, and this is what I would recommend, is that you don't put a handle on any of these beading tools. It's not necessary. They're very light work that you do with them. They cut very cleanly without a lot of pressure or any pressure, and the handle just gets in the way. I'll probably leave that handle on because there's not much handle past the end of that, and it works fine. These other tools, if I ever get in a tight spot, I'll cut the handles off. The place you run into trouble is if you're back here on the back side of something trying to cut beads. You know, you need all the clearance you can get to get in there. But like I say, with beading tools, I wouldn't even put a handle on, or very minimal handle like that, and they work great. This is how I sharpen my beading tools. Since I do so much beading, I have a platform and a wheel dedicated to the beading tools that's set at the proper angle as they come from D-way. This platform has a slot in it, so I made me a little jig here that would slide into that slot so that my tool is perpendicular to the wheel, parallel to the side of the wheel, and then I can go side to side with it too. So the tool sits on there in this orientation. This part right here makes sure that it's perpendicular to the platform. If not, I would sharpen one point more than the other, and that would not be good. And then basically I just touch the tool to the wheel, move over a little, touch it, move over, touch it. And just a light touch, and that's it. So this is set up as right behind my lathe. I sharpen the tools a lot, and it's easy enough just to turn around, and in 3 seconds I've got a sharp tool again, and I'm back to cutting beads. Okay, let's take a minute and talk about bead shape and why it's important to have as perfect a bead as possible. In this illustration, you can see a flat top bead and a nice round bead. The main thing about this is when I start to do my wood burning tip is shaped like this. And so if you can see, if I had a round wood burning tip like that with a flat top bead, then I'm going to burn here and here, but this is going to be left unburned. Now if I'm using a skew to do my burning where I just rake it across the top, it'll burn those flat top beads just fine. But if I'm using a fishtail style tip, which is what I use, then I need these beads to be as close to matching that tip as possible so that I get as nice a burn as I can around here. Now the other thing that's important about beads is the bead height. One reason you go to so much trouble to get your shape as perfect as possible is because if, say, this bead is lower than that bead or that bead, then it really shows up on your finished piece. I think it casts a shadow. I'm not sure what it is, but it's always surprising to me if my beads aren't even across the top, how I can see that low or high bead. In this piece right here, you know, you can't see where that seam is, but if I happen to cut the bead on the lid, let's find the lid there, if I happen to cut this bead shorter than that bead, then you can really see where that lid is. And that's true of any bead across here. And so I've probably mentioned this already and will probably mention it again, but the shape needs to be as perfect as it can be so that those beads, when you start cutting them, are all the same height at the top of the bead. That's extremely important, or you will see those beads that are not the same height.